What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today, we're going to go ahead and talk about the future of the Battlefield franchise. Now, if you have been following me for a while now, you know my personal opinions about Battlefield 2042. You know that I don't care for the game, I don't think it's very fun, I don't think the replayability is there, and also the atmosphere just completely lacks in every single sector. So, when it comes to that game, it's beyond fixable at this point. You know, they can make it better for people who enjoy the core experience by polishing off bugs and glitches and fixes, but for the people who don't care for specialists, for the people who don't care for the vibes that the game give out, for the people who just don't care for the foundation of the game, it's not going anywhere. So the only possible place we can focus on right now is the future of the overall franchise. Now, I know for a lot of people, including myself, to think about the future of Battlefield is pretty tough right now. You know, after Battlefield 5, a ton of people said that if the next Battlefield game does not live up to the previous expectations, then we're out because it's unacceptable. You know, we have been pretty good with all of these Battlefield games, even though they have all released broken, buggy, glitchy. Every single Battlefield game up to Battlefield 1 has been pretty much phenomenal, and I would say Hardline is probably the most controversial Battlefield game out there. You know, a lot of mixed opinions, but I even love that game as well. Once Battlefield 5 came out, we saw a new face to DICE, almost like the developers had no clue what they were doing with putting together a Battlefield experience. So a lot of us after that game said that if the next game sucks, we're out of the picture, and here we are at Battlefield 2042. They took it even further than Battlefield 5 tried to take us out of the core Battlefield experience. So trust me, I know over half you guys don't even want to listen to what I have to say to you. But truthfully, Marcus Leto, over on Twitter, one of the brand new developers that EA has brought in to work on the campaign experience of the next Battlefield game, has been nothing but just perfection when it comes to being a good, talkative developer who cares about the community. Seeing someone like that is so rare nowadays. No matter what community you are a part of, whether it's, Rainbow Six Siege, it could be an Overwatch, Call of Duty, Battlefield, it doesn't matter what game is your favorite. Being able to communicate with developers is just so rough nowadays. If they aren't indie developers, it's almost like their ego is too big to, step down and talk to us casual players, us lovers of the game that they are creating. But Marcus Leto has proved time and time and time again that he cares not only about seeing the future of Battlefield be successful, but also at the same time he cares about how the community feels about the product they are playing. He is one of the only developers that I've actually seen go into absolute hostile environments, tons of negativity, tons of people pissed off about the game, and actually discuss different topics with these individuals. The majority of the other developers would just, say, okay, screw you, you have nothing good to say, get out of my face, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. He actually goes in and listens. He understands that gamers, we get angry sometimes. We have our, mood swings, our emotions with these games. When you're very passionate about something, you get angry in that type of way when the franchise that you love so much is just constantly going on a downward spiral. That's how the Battlefield community is right now. Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042, Battlefield isn't like COD, but they release a game every single year. It takes time to put these projects together, and they last over a year, so we have to hope that the game is good enough to last us that much time. So, it's a lot more tedious to have to sit here. Like, we had to sit through Battlefield 5 for a year plus just to get it into a more playable state. For me personally, it took until the Pacific came out for that game to be solid. Battlefield 2042 is still a pretty crappy game up until launch. So, obviously, we're pissed off. If you love the game, you're going to be angry about it. And he understands. But he went out over on Twitter once again, as he always does, an absolute legend. And he posts more questions for the community to go ahead and answer. Once again, another reason why I love this man, because he doesn't just go and, go to the drawing board and just say, okay, I'm the overall genius. I know exactly what will fix Battlefield. I know every single thing that will turn this franchise around. He doesn't do that. He doesn't have that ego. He wants to hear from us. He wants the community to help with the development of the next game, and that is extremely respectable. Now I'm going to go ahead and show his two questions one by one. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to both of these tweets down in the description of this video. I highly suggest you guys going over to them, leaving a like, leaving a comment, letting your voices be heard, and make sure these tweets start trending, just so we can get a little bit more focus on what the future of Battlefield should hold. But the first question is, curious which variation of the Battlefield theme music over the years you all like the best. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say this is music. I've heard this tons of times in the comment section. Music means nothing. I'm going to tell you my point of view about it. I know not a lot of people are going to agree, and that's perfectly fine. You know, we all are subject to our own opinions. But I think music is one of the most crucial parts of video games, the most crucial part of a lot of arts out there, even movies, you know, television shows. Music, the back music, is so crucial to setting the plot, setting the theme. And in a game like Battlefield 2042, as we all see, it has the worst soundtrack I've ever heard out of any Battlefield game. Even Battlefield 5, where I despised the gameplay decisions they made, I still thought the music was phenomenal. But back to the main question here. Which variation of the Battlefield theme music over the years you all like the best? If it's going to be my personal opinion, I am torn between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. I like Battlefield 3, and I gotta say Battlefield 5 had some really solid soundtracks as well. But something about Battlefield 1, the music was so just phenomenal. Like, honestly, I think that game was not just known for the great, you know, atmosphere of World War I, but also for the outstanding soundtrack that backed it up. It made every single experience in that game just 10 times more intense just because of the music alone. And then, of course, Battlefield 4, I mean, come on now, that is just some OG sauce right there. You can't go wrong with it. But if I have to give my two favorite soundtracks out of the whole Battlefield franchise, that would personally be the mix. And the second follow-up question is even better than the first. Now, I highly suggest you guys go down in the comment section of this video and also under the comments of this tweet as well and leave your opinions about this one because it's very crucial for the success of the next Battlefield title. Now, he goes ahead and says, okay, so I asked about Battlefield music earlier. Now I want to know which is your favorite title for style and tone. Gritty, heroic, fun. All of your responses have been absolutely fantastic, by the way. Thank you for engaging. Now, this right here, like I said, is so crucial for any Battlefield game. The tone of the overall experience. I'm thinking of anything between Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. That's the type of tone that I enjoy seeing. Now, Battlefield 1 might be a little too far, but anything from Bad Companies to the Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 games, even Hardline, you know, if you really want to get down to it, all of them had their very nitty-gritty, you know, dark tones. But it was still a slight bit of humor. It wasn't cringe humor, like out of Battlefield 2042, where it just made me want to slap all the specialists, but it was realistic, you know, under-pressure humor that made sense in the scenarios, and it's realistic for humans to act that way. I think that is the best way of going about any Battlefield experience. Phenomenal. And you know what? Hardline was pretty goofy in a way, so I'm going to take that out of my statement. I'm just going to stick with like Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 or Bad Company 2. Something like that would be phenomenal to see the vibes, you know, transferred over into a newer Battlefield experience. Now, I've heard tons of people say, well, you know, this man is only working on campaign. This has nothing to do with the multiplayer experience, but I beg to differ. The campaign really does bleed into every other game mode you could possibly think of within the same title. You know, if the campaign is going to be goofy, corny, and all that stuff, guess what the multiplayer is going to be like? If the campaign is going to have a darker, more realistic tone, then guess how the multiplayer is going to be like? Now, of course, this is going to change over time with cosmetics and stuff like that. I mean, look at Modern Warfare 2019. That had one of the best campaigns I've ever seen. But as time has gone on, the different type of microtransactions and skins, camos that you can start adding on your character, the game starts slowly pushing away from what it's truly about until it has a completely different identity. So I'm not even guessing. I know that later in the next Battlefield's life cycle, it might get worse. So far with 2042, they're proving to us that their, you know, art design is much better. You know, I was a little scared that they're going to go over the top like Call of Duty does, but it seems like they really pulled back. But we don't know what the future holds for the Battlefield franchise. That's really up to EA and what they tell the art team to do and design. But when it comes to the atmosphere of the overall game, the campaign definitely has a massive play within the multiplayer, the spec, the co-op, whatever is going to be in the next Battlefield game. The campaign is definitely going to rub off in all the different areas. So please do not sleep on this man. Make sure you go check out the tweet, interact with it, and give your personal opinion. This is huge for the future of the franchise. They know they messed up with 2042, and obviously it's not much they could truly do, you know, unless they want to go all the way back from scratch and delete everything within the game and start, you know, very fresh. You know, it's going to be impossible. They can't just go into the code and, you know, pick things here and there, and then the game is going to magically poof into, you know, a perfect title. It doesn't work that way. So obviously we all have to point our direction to the future of the franchise. And this man right here is obviously leading the path when it comes to the atmosphere that game is going to hold. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this to do so, Twitter and Discord, both link in the down description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games, do it on Twitch. Link that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.